Okay, so we like in the last session we started with the ASP.NET, sorry, MVC. So today I will show you one MVC project. So from there, like we will discuss the MVC topics. So we'll discuss the architecture of project, how we are like doing that, and okay. So this is my MVC project, or and this is yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. So this is like e-commerce based website, and that is totally designed in MVC. So we will discuss the and this entire project. So let me show you first the output, then we can discuss that. So this is the add to cart functionality. So so the main idea is how we can like build these kind of like feature or application in ASP.NET. Oh, sorry, in MVC. Okay, so we have the login functionality as well. Let me logged in with this is the admin user. We have two type of user, admin and registered user. Registered user means to say if any user like registered itself on this website, and the user is like having some extra privileges. Like here you can see the administrator. When we click on this administrator link, we will redirect to the admin panel. So right now I'm just telling you the feature of this product. Then the next we will discuss how we can achieve this. Okay, yeah. So right now we are in admin panel. So this is the admin panel. So here we can say we have like dashboard, catalog, like if you want to create a category product, so we can like create from here. So we are on like product page. So this product is basically we can say page is combination of two pages, two section. One is search section, second one is a grid section. Okay, and if you want to add new product, we can add it, or if we like select and download the catalog, export or delete the selected product, we can perform this operation from here. Okay, and like we have like customers, cust then under customer we again have the customer. So here you can see the customer always registered, and like right now we are like logged in with the admin at yourstore.com. That is the administrator of this website. Okay, so we have like other users as well, like Steve Watt, James, like these Victoria. These all are the registered user. If we go to the public store and like let's register it, let's say. I need to log out from here. Let me log out. Okay. Now I'm going to register myself. Say, okay, Pawan at yourstore.com. Company name is, let's say, test. Password, let's say, admin. Okay. So this is the validation. Okay. So we can say we are like registered now. Okay. Uh, Let me log out and log in with admin, and then we'll see this user is already registered, and can we see that user on dashboard? Okay, administrator. I think we already there. Let me reload it. Okay, so we registered with Pavan at Yourstone. So this is the user, and this is the role category is registered. Okay. Okay. So now we will like first we will discuss the architecture of this project. So what is the purpose of this library folder, right, or a plugin folder, and this presentation we have web.admin. Okay, and then we have this area, admin area. So we'll discuss, understand the architecture of this project. Okay, so this is like e-commerce based application, and that is built in MVC. Okay. So the architecture is this is using onion architecture. Onion architecture is like first we have like the data. Okay, let me like show you with picture. Mm, This is clean architecture. It is not clear. It is same image. Yeah, this. Okay. So this is basically the onion architecture. We can say the components. So we need to just understand these terms. Okay, so the why this architecture is called onion, like when you cut the onion, so we'll see the rings, right? So this is similar to the onion right now. Uh, so the in the center we have the domain model, the application code, right? We have the domain model. So model is basically nothing. It's represent your data. Data means to say the data tables. Then above of this, we have the domain services. So domain service is basically used to perform the operation on your data. Means to say if you want to search data from a database or want to insert the like we created a user, so we basically uh, inserting a record in a database. So that is basically we have a domain service. The service is using the domain model. The model represent the table. So when we call this service, the service insert the record in the model. Okay. So the second layer we have, that is a domain services. So any operation related to data is done by domain service. It can be insert, update, delete, search, filter, anything. Okay. Then the next thing we have the application services. So application services like we have actual business logic, we can say. So business logic will going to consume the domain services, and domain services deal with the domain model or the data. So here we can also split this application server into we can say the application service can be a controllers. Okay, so can be the controllers. So controllers basically consume the domain services. Then further component we have like user interface, the end user going to interact with the user interface and or send a request from user interface to application server, means to say controller consume the services perform the operation on domain models. So this is like the layers we have in onion architecture. And the further two component is like test cases. If you like to add a unit test cases for your code, you can also do that. And the second thing is the infrastructure. Infrastructure means to say anything required to host this application or support this application, that's come in the infrastructure. Okay, so this is the image of onion architecture. Now we will relate the things with this image in our MVC project. Okay, so first we'll like understand what is the domain model. Okay, let me open the database as well. SQL Server. Okay, let me check the database. Mm. There is file. Let me. File is not visible. App setting. Okay. Uh, okay. I'll check that. So basically, we have I know the DB. So that is NobDB. So this is the tables which is we are like consuming in our project. So here we have, let me open it, users table or customer table. Mm, Customer. Oh, since we need to select the database, it is now DB. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we have like created this user, so we can see we have the user. Okay. So this is the database. We can say the tables. Uh, this table is basically represented by domain model. Okay. So now we'll see the first layer, the domain model in our like project. So first we will see the libraries. So inside the libraries we have like the core data and services. Three libraries we have like created. So inside core we can go inside the domain. Okay, and domain, inside the domain we have like customer. So here we have like this customer. So this customer is representing this customer table. So here you can see we have username, email, okay, the comment, or these all field like is active, is delete, and all. So these all fields are basically we have like inside this customer.cs file. Okay, so this is the customer. So we can say the GUID, the username, email to revalidate, admin comment, is tax exempt. Okay, so these are the properties basically representing the table columns. Okay, see the customer GUID, username, email to reward, admin comment. So it's the same we have here inside customer.cs file. Okay, so this customer.cs file is basically representing the domain model, and this domain model is actually uh, a table. Okay, okay, so this first part is clear. Hello, yeah, Vivek,
Yeah,
Diksha, you
Pawan.
there? Okay, now this is the customer we have like created. So whatever the fields we need, we like created inside this customer class. Okay, now next is domain service. For the domain service, now let's move to the, okay, we have like uh, the data and the mapper. Okay, before like we'll discuss this domain service. We are saying this domain model is basically a table. So where we are saying this customer.cs actually representing customer table. So here we have like created mappings. So this mapping again, so this folder structure you can see if we are like in domain and saying customer, so you need to like go with the same folder structure in data as well. The data we have a mapping inside we have customer, and then customer we have the map files related to the customer table. So we have like the customer.map, customer map.cs, just open it. So here we can say the customer class, this class, let me right click and say go to definition. Okay, when I say go to definition, it's taking me to again customer.cs file. Okay, so that means when we are on customer map and we are saying this dot to table customer, that means our customer.cs file is going to map with customer table in database. Okay, so now again, here we are saying the username, the email, and the email to recovery, everything we are like setting up the properties for this customer table. Uh, these all are, we can say, the properties all are like the column inside the table. Okay, so we define the uh, model. In the second step, we define the model is going to represent a table. Which table we set it here. Maybe in your code you have just created a customer, but in a database you have like customer detail tables. So now you want to map the customer detail tables with your customer class. So that thing basically you are going to define it here. Okay. So you need to pass like the customer detail class, and so it will be like this dot to table customer. So that means so customer is representing the customer table. Okay, so the mapping is done. Now let's move to the second layer, the domain services. So here we have like the uh, services utility library. So just click it here. Again, the structure is same. You need to go in customer, just search the customer tabs, customer folder, download. So these all are classes related to customer, basically representing the main services. Okay. So now let's see how we like implemented this domain services. So in like our C sharp classes, we study that the interfaces, like we can create the interface. Okay. So here you can see we have like I customer interface. So this is the customer. So what operation we want to perform on customer class. So we basically define inside the interface. Okay, so we are going to create delete customer by role. Sorry, get customer by customer roles by ID. Okay, the customer get customer roles by system name. So like this, we have like define the method, all methods, which is going to implement in project. Okay, so here we have like just a declaration part. Now we need to implement this class on actual customer class. So here we have customer services. This customer service represent domain services. The I customer will be the customer service. So here you can see customer service class basically inheriting I customer services. So this is, we can say, we inherit the members of I customer service inside class. So when we inherit it, so what we are now doing, so basically these all are the variables, and these all are the not variables, this is the comment. Yeah. Mm. Okay, so these all are the dependencies for the customer services class. So we'll discuss later what is like dependency, how we can integrate dependency in our services. So here you can see we have delete customers users link. Okay, so this is the basically actual method. So this method basically performing the CRUD operation. Means to say create, read, update, or delete. Okay. So like this, we have multiple methods. The purpose of each method is different. Maybe one method is just reading a record. Second is it's reading, but based on the filter provided by the end user. So, so these all are like these service customers. Sorry, domain services. So domain service is consuming domain model. So we can see. So, for example. So we have the class customer. So it's delete. Let me open the read method. Okay, let's get customer by ID. So here you can see we have like get customer by ID. Based on customer ID, we can retrieve the record. So here we are like mentioning it. This method is basically going to return me a customer. So and customer is nothing, that is the domain model.
Oh,
Hello, hello.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
Pawan, I can hear you.
okay. All right. So this customer is nothing. It's basically a domain model. So, and this is domain service, get customer by ID. So when we call this method get customer by ID, we will pass a ID. So we perform operation on database. Get by ID. So get by ID is basically, let me like further dive into this. So we have a method get by ID. Okay, let's say go to the implementation. Yeah, okay. So here you can see we are just saying entities dot find ID. So this entity is basically we are using the entity framework. Here the entity is representing the customer. So we are saying customer dot find ID. So system is basically send a request to a database and it will like find a record with this ID and return back uh, to the domain service. It is customer service at this moment, and then we are returning the customer. Okay, so these are like
Yeah.
three libraries: core, data, and service. So core is basically you're the core model, or basically representing the table. And in the data, basically, we are setting up the map. Map means mapping, which class is mapped with which table. And inside the table, which property is mapped with which column. So maybe in class, we defined 10 columns, but only 5 is implemented in database. Okay, so we put place the mapping inside the data folder or a data library. And the next we have the final, that is the services. So that is service related to what operation you want to perform. So here we have like customer service. So we like see the get customer by ID. Let's say if you want to uh, so in this method only return you the single customer. If the ID is customer ID is correct, it will return that customer. If the ID is not correct, then it will return you null. Okay. Uh, Another we have like service method, that is get customer by IDs. So in this scenario, we will like we can pass multiple IDs. So here again, you can see we are saying rep uh, customer repository dot table. We are basically, this is the, we can say, the link queue query. Okay, so basically we are saying uh, the table is representing the customer table here, and we are setting up the where condition where customer ID contain ID, and then we are returning select C, means to say we are selecting the entire record, and that is stored inside the query. Further, we can use the queries for our like for for the I mean reading the records and all. Okay, so here we can see we are consuming the data model inside the data services. So the two layer is done. Now we will see the application services. The application services means to say we created three services. Now we want to use this service inside your inside application services. Application services can be the directly the controller, or you can also create further business logic layer here as well. Okay, so I am opening the customer controller. So here you can see on the top, we pass the customer service in customer controller. So here you can see customer service. Oh, find I customer service. Yeah, here it is. So here you can see we are like calling the customer service inside customer controller. So this is the customer service. Let's find it. Yeah, yeah. 1 second, please. Yeah. Hello, I'm audible.
Yeah.
Okay. So here you can see we are consuming the customer service. So this is the object of customer service. Like we did just discussed. So we are creating iCustomer service. Object is underscore customer service. So here you can see we are
Your
consuming
voice is
the
breaking.
main services inside the application. Hello,
Yeah, yeah. Now it's fine. It was like breaking
Diksha, you were
before.
saying something?
Yeah, your voice was breaking
Okay,
before, so
okay,
I couldn't.
okay, okay. I just saying, like we can say that the domain services is now consuming inside the application services. So application service in our case is the controller. So here we can see we have like created the object of customer service. Then we are calling their the methods. Get customer by username, by email. Okay. So yeah, get customer by email. Get customer. Okay, this is again, yeah. Here we are like insert guest to customer. So this is the services method.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm. Yeah.
Now let's debug this. It's my output. Okay. And we can see one by one how we can insert a customer.
Okay. So these like the uh, address model factory, customer model factory, authentication services, text setting, these all are like the services, domain services we are basically consuming inside customer model. Okay, so we are just referring right now just to take understanding the I customer service. Okay, let me execute it. Okay, I'm going to the administrator. Inside customer, we'll say the customer. So basically, we want to see how all these customers are like coming from database and how we are like handling it. So we want to we'll see this part first. Okay. So we are on customer controller. So let's see which methods we have. Do we have any method related to read all the customer detail? Let's find that. So we can also search it from here, like the customer slash list. So related to list, there's supposed to be a method. Let's go to the customer service. Set main custom list. Basically, I'm looking into wrong folder. So basically, we are inside admin. So we supposed to be search inside the admin folder. So I'm looking into wrong file. So here we have like the customer controller. Yeah, this one. This one, the customer list. So let me put debugger here. So when I refresh, so we are at here, customer list. Okay. So the first is the authorization. Basically, we are checking which user is basically accessing this customer list. If that user is belongs to the administrator role, then it will like process further. Otherwise, it will return access deny. Uh, that is the response access deny. Okay, so we are like logged in with the admin rights. So here you can see we have a method get all customer. So this method is will fetch the records and it will return the list of customers. Okay, let me put debugger here. Okay, F10. Okay, so this statement is executed. So I'm just hovering the customer. So here we can say the count is 7. So this get all customer return me the 7 customers we can say. So this is the customer detail. That is the one for one dot your dot com. Okay. This is this is related to the Victoria customer. So basically we fetch the record and save the record inside the customers. So now we have the data source. So we are basically populating, need to populate the record on grid. This is the grid. So we have like created the grid model. There are two properties. One is data and second is the total count. Okay, so this record will prepare the grid model and then finally we are returning the grid model as JSON. And that's JSON get parsed into uh, into object and we are then fetching the record in and bind it with this control with grid control. Okay, so I'm just posing this right here. So tomorrow we will like continue from this point. So how we are like we we have like seen we are fetching the record from DB. So we have like created a service. So it will like return with the list of record. Now the next we will see the list of record, how this list of record like getting mapped with this view. Okay. Uh, okay, Vivek, Diksha.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will
Yeah.
like see how we can like map these records on this view. But we'll see
Okay.
by tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Diksha. Thank you,
Thank you.
Vivek.